Hail Varsity Radio every weekday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. Hail Varsity Radio is the best sports talk radio show around, and you'll never go a day without exclusive Husker coverage. On air, online, and on podcast. Chris Schmidt and Elijah Herbal have you covered every weekday, 4 to 6 p.m. with Hail Varsity Radio.
W-T-L.
It's time!
W-T-L.
I think we got a show. Oh, yeah, we got a show.
W-T-L.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
The Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
And before we get things started, let's take a moment to recognize that this is July 4th
The
week.
4th.
Weekend. I mean, it's more than just a weekend celebration now.
Yeah.
Starting a little early, so let's just enjoy the rest of the week here.
Yeah.
And celebrate this great nation's independence.
Amen.
On the 4th of July.
That's what I like to hear.
And hey, let's get into those books and beat those sports books up a little bit too while
Yes,
we're at
sir.
it, right?
Yes, sir.
Plenty of action going on, and we got a whole laundry list of baseball games.
Yeah.
We also got to talk about the John Deere Classic coming back to the Midwest over there in Illinois. We'll
Yes,
get into
sir.
that here shortly. And then, of course, it wouldn't be the 4th of July without the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
That's where people were going to win big money this week.
We got an edge.
This weekend. We got an edge for everybody here. And without Joey Chestnut, I mean, it's open to interpretation. So there's some new guys, some new names that we're going to be talking about. It's just not the Joey Chestnut show anymore. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And that's where this money can be made.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be diving into some names you might not know. The competitive eating circuit.
Yes. Big league eating.
Oh, man. But before we look ahead, let's take a quick look back at the Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah.
And what went down there. I think everybody feels good for Cam Davis.
Yeah.
Holding off Oshka. But he was preparing for a playoff. And somehow Oshka blew three putted within 30 feet there, 32 feet on the final hole.
Crazy.
Tough way to lose it. And that's just kind of how the whole day went there, Sunday anyway. It dropped 15 to 20 degrees. It got really windy. Even with the course getting softer, players couldn't take advantage of it because of the wind.
Yep.
So you had, guys that could usually kind of stretch out their drives. That just wasn't happening. So you didn't see a bunch of low scores like you're used to seeing in Detroit. And no one really took advantage. And it just kind of was, what was best of what's left. And, hey, Cam Davis, take a bow, take your victory, right?
Exactly. And, the other Cameron Young, Andy, in pursuit for his first PGA Tour win.
Yeah.
One of the guys that we kind of had our eye on last week, snapped his driver with 5 holes to go, Andy.
Yeah.
And, that he only had hit 3 of the 10 fairways on Sunday, kind of just imploded. He was in great position to win that tournament, to get his first win, and it just seemed like he just kind of got derailed with his driver there on Sunday.
Young smacked about 4 or 5 hard left. They sliced bad on him out of the tee-off box, and then he looked like me in my early days in high school or college where, he ran his driver into the ground, into the tee box there. It snapped the shaft, and that's a rule on the PGA. If you break a club in the field of play, you can get it replaced. But if you break it due to acting like that, you don't get it replaced.
You don't get it.
And so he had to finish out from hole 14 on with his 3-wood, which was fine, but he wasn't going to get the long drives, wasn't going to be able to get on in 2, and he still had a chance there, but he tumbled after that and ended up being 6
Just
under.
wasn't in the right frame of mind there.
You picked him. You picked him as your favorite.
Yeah, for sure.
And he would have been there had he been able to just keep it. Even his terrible play.
Yeah. Keep his wits about him. He probably still had a shot.
Yep. He was missing fairways left and right, slicing. Kind of. Sometimes you like seeing those guys do that. You're like, they are human. But
they have emotions as well.
His mental capacity there, that was kind of disappointing, especially for everyone out there that had money on him, like the Parlay Pounder.
No doubt.
That was a tough way to go. But on to the John Deere Classic.
Yeah.
This is a TPC Deere run, I believe.
Yes,
Let
it
me get
is.
these numbers up here. And do you think John Deere kind of had that in mind, that they were going to sponsor a golf tournament in Illinois, one of the top 5 corn-producing year-in and year-out states, and then we're going to move that to a course called Deere Run.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes hand in hand. TBC Deere Run and John Deere Classic kind of go together. So, I think they got up on that one for sure.
This is a par 71, and this is one of those courses. It's pretty straight, but it does stretch out here. 7,289 yards. Now, we had a large favorite earlier in the week. Patrick Cantley was way out in front as far as the betting odds, but he has withdrew from the tournament, and that really opens things up here. Sanjay M is now your overall favorite at a plus 1,400 on a lot of books, and then your returning champion from a year ago, Sepp Straka, is right behind him, and so is the red-hot Aaron Rye, who tied for second in Detroit last week. I really like Rye in his game. He's right out there at plus 1,800. Then another name that we just can't get away from. Jordan Spieth is one of your top odds getters here. He has won this tournament twice.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason that he's up there, Andy. Yeah. I mean, obviously he's a really good golfer, but he just really hasn't shown a lot to me. Yeah. In the past few tournaments or whatever. But the fact that he is a 2-time champion of this event probably gets him going a little bit more.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I believe like the two favorites, the two people that people should be putting their money on are Sungjae M and Aaron Rye right now at a plus 1,400, plus 2,200. Those are the ones that stand out to me right now as two people that are playing really good and have a really good game, especially coming into Deere Run here.
So let's start with Aaron Rye there.
Yeah.
A lot of folks will not bet a guy when it's his first time at a course, at a tournament.
Yeah,
this will be Rye's first time playing the John Deere Classic at TPC. That doesn't give you any pause here?
Well, it does give you a little pause, Andy, but I also like putting money on golfers that are playing excellent golf right now, and there's nobody hotter on this list of players than him right now.
Yeah, so, 4 of his last 6 tournaments, he's finished in the top 20.
Exactly.
So. Last week, tied for second.
Exactly. Finishing 23rd or better in 5 of the 7 starts, including a runner-up. 2, like we're talking, Rocket Mortgage. So I just think he's really, really accurate right now, and that's the best thing that can go for a golfer. So I believe he should be the second guy you put your money on. Sungjae M, I believe. In low-scoring events like the John Deere Classic, he has a great shot to win, especially with Cantley out. So I love Sungjae. He's probably the overall favorite.
And that's what the John Deere Classic is known for, is low scores. It's a birdie fest. Tweet, tweet. You're going to see birdies all over the place. And one more thing with Rye. Yeah. I think I read this earlier today. He was 4th overall with his approach shot, and that's good.
In Detroit,
In Detroit. So his irons are on fire right now. That's going to give him a whole myriad of opportunities to get those birdies if he can hit those greens on his second, third shot. And that's exactly what he's been doing as of late. I want to step back here to Jordan Spieth, and I think that is a sucker bet. I think that is a stupid bet. This guy hasn't finished 29th or better in a long, long time. Tied for 10th back in April at the Travelers or something like that. But it was a long, long time ago. And his stats are on the complete opposite. His irons are all over the place. He's always a good putter, but you can't even trust that all the time now. I get it. The last time he played this tournament, he won it back in 2015.
No doubt.
And he won it prior. He was the youngest pro to ever win this when he was a 19-year-old. That was a long, long time ago.
Long time ago. Yeah, he was one of the best golfers back then, too. We haven't seen that kind of Jordan Spieth in that amount of time either. Not saying he's a bad golfer, but like you just said, all those stats really is a big track record for Jordan. Until he gets back in those ways, it's really hard to put money on him, even in these lesser, I'm not saying lesser tournaments, but tournaments that aren't star-studded with, the big names like Rory and all the guys from the LIV Tour. So, it's really hard for me to put money on him. I think it's a sucker bet as well. I think they will get a bunch of money put on him just because he is probably the biggest name on the card here.
Yeah,
I think he is.
Now that Cantley's
Cantley's out.
And I get it. Everyone's gearing up for next week out at Scotland.
Yeah, no doubt.
I get it.
You have to.
That's where all the big names are at, but that also opens things up to get kind of creative betting here.
Yeah, no doubt, Andy. I got a couple underlying guys that I think people should look at putting money on.
Let's hear it.
Lucas Glover is my first one, plus 5,500. Plays this event about every year. It's easy to understand why. In his 14 starts here, Andy, he's 3 top 10s, 6 top 25 finishes, including a win in 2021. Just last year, he tied for 6th with 4 rounds in the 60s. While his recent form isn't great, bet on the course history with Glover here. I think it's a great bet, and with that value at plus 5,500, I think it's a great bet.
I think you get a plus 400 for a top 10.
Yeah, that's good. That's great too.
I like Lucas Glover as well in this spot. You got another one for me?
Yeah, and if I was going to a really long shot out there, shot, Andy, is Neil Shipley plus 8,000. He made his first start as a pro last week in Detroit. Didn't miss a beat after an impressive showing at the Masters in the U.S. Open, Andy. Finished 20th at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. He's certainly playing well enough to win a PGA Tour event soon. So this is another one of those guys to keep your eye on.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the winner's circle at one of these lesser tournaments sooner rather than later. Plus 8,000, throw a 10 on it, throw a 5 on it, see what it can come back for you on. But this Neil Shipley, keep him in the back of your head. He is an up-and-comer.
I like that. And, this is a Midwest course, and it's fared well for Midwestern guys. Steve Stryker's won this. Zach Johnson's won this. Zach Johnson, young man, he's not so much of a young man anymore from Iowa, but he's at a plus 10,000. You want to talk about long shots.
That's a long one.
You want to talk about a repeat champion, Zach Johnson. I don't even think I can justify a sprinkle on that.
That's a tough one, Andy. That's a tough one. Now, we do got a little bit of time left. Would you like to hear a parlay play that I got?
You're the parlay pounder. We got to hear it.
Okay, I got a top 20 finish parlay, just like I do every week. I got 3 guys that have to finish in the top 20. I think these guys are geared up to do that.
All right.
Sepp Straka, like you said, defending champion. He will be in that top 20 range. Aaron Rai, probably the hottest golfer coming into this. He will be in the top 20. And then Denny McCarthy, I'm ending it with. This is a plus 600 bet, Andy. $25 to win $175.
Boom.
Straka, Rye, McCarthy, all top 20 finishes. 25 to win $175.
And a lot of people are talking about McCarthy.
Yeah,
a lot
no
of
doubt.
people are talking about McCarthy. I think that's a solid parlay play from the parlay
let's go.
pounder.
Let's go.
Well, let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. I'm going to be enjoying a few of those over the holiday weekend here. We've been enjoying the EOS Hefeweizen, one of their core series brews, described as a Bavarian wheat beer. This unfiltered beer may be a little sweeter than your traditional German Hefeweizen, highlighted with notes of vanilla and nutmeg. Nebraska Brewing Company, world class in every glass. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. You know what that stands for. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Class, and joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the parlay pounder.
You got it. We're back.
Yes, and we talked a little golf, John Deere Classic.
Yeah.
Being based out of the Midwest, we
Have
gotta talk a little Midwest golf when we get it.
Yes.
Now we gotta talk July 4th, Major League Baseball.
The best.
And we're gonna start everybody off early here.
Yeah.
We're just got a full day of baseball. We got your 4th plan for you. I mean, you can go ahead and get out on the boat, check out the lake or whatever.
Yeah.
But just have the radio on, or maybe be checking in on the scores on your phone. You're going to be doing it anyway. So
going to be doing it anyways. Win some money as well.
Yeah, you might as well sprinkle a little bit of money on that 10 o'clock, 10:05 first pitch. Thursday, July 4th, the Mets-Nationals game.
Yes.
It's the Nationals.
It's the Presidents.
Yeah, we got to talk New York Mets-Nationals. We wanted to do the full slate, the full rundown for y'all. Should be a pretty darn good game here. Washington has taken a couple from the Mets already in this series. This will wrap things up. The Mets are still a game above 500 and a full 3 games above Washington for the NL East standings, but Washington is making some headway, taking a couple of these games. What are your initial thoughts here?
Well, the whole thing about it is, Andy, that I believe the Nationals are, they probably look, the Mets probably look down on the Nationals or whatever, but they've taken to 10 innings, extra innings twice in this series already, Andy. Obviously, the Mets have won both of them in extra innings, but they're just 3 games behind them. The whole thing about this is even though that Jose Quintana has not had the greatest year so far for the Mets, he's 3-5, 4.5 ERA. I do believe that he's a little bit better pitcher than the other side with Jake Irvin starting on the 4th. So I give the Mets.
The Mets are going to sweep?
Yeah, I think I like the Mets to win on the 4th. They just have a better lineup up and down. I mean, when you look at the superstars with Pete Alonso and Starling Marte, it's just too much. The Washington really don't have a lot right now. Yeah. It's kind of, they won that World Series a few years back, and they kind of just cleaned house.
Sure.
Had a whole bunch of all-stars, all that kind of stuff. They're just really not. They don't really move the needle anyway, and that's kind of the way that you see it, Andy.
That's why they're at the bottom of the pack,
Exactly.
Well, Miami is.
And with the 17-21 record at home, that's really not going to help your case much, especially hosting a big batted team like the New York Mets in town. So, nope. I like the Mets minus 125 right now on DraftKings, so that is where I will put my money, is on the New York Mets money line.
Hard to get away from the Metropolitans. You got Marte, as you mentioned, slugging .416. Pete Alonso leading the way with 17 dingers on the season. No surprise there. The polar bear is out in front in that regard. Should we move on to the next game down the slate?
Yeah, let's do a rivalry game, Andy.
Ooh, all right. That means we're moving to the National League Central.
Yes.
The surprise Cardinals heading on over to Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates for an 11:35 first pitch. I think a lot of folks are surprised with where St. Louis is right now, so especially how bad they started the season. But they're 4 games above 500. They're on a 2-game winning streak. They've taken one from Pittsburgh already. They did split the series with Cincinnati, and that's nothing to write home about.
Right.
But I mean, they're only 5.5 games back of Milwaukee right now, so they're in a pretty darn good place considering where they were earlier this season.
Yeah, no doubt, Andy. They one of the worst starts in baseball, like you said, 3 games above 500 now. The whole thing is that they are going into Pittsburgh here. Pittsburgh is about 500 at home right now. Yeah. The pitcher is what I want to talk about for the St. Louis Cardinals, Andre Palantin. He is 4-3 on the year, 4.5 ERA. Nothing crazy, but he does not give up the long ball a lot, which is what I like. He keeps it inside the park, gives his guys a chance to really make those plays. The whole thing that I look at with the St. Louis Cardinals, Andy, is their batting leaders right now, and nowhere to be seen are their top guys, Paul Goldschmidt or Nolan Arenado. Yeah. So at some point that these guys are going to get it going and really give this team some pop. So I think that is right around the corner. I do believe with the Pittsburgh Pirates starting Martin Perez on the 4th, I do believe the Cardinals have a very, very good shot of taking this game.
Yeah, that's a great point. Everything we've seen from Goldschmidt, he's going to bounce back. His numbers are going to finally accumulate and get back to where they need to be. Gorman, who just hit a grand slam the other night to hoist the Cardinals up over the Pittsburgh Pirates, leads the team with 17 home runs. And then young man Mason Wynn at shortstop's their leading batter right now as far as batting average goes. He's also slugging north of 400, slugging .417. And then you got Braden Donovan, left fielder, usually plays left field. He leads the way with 42 runs batted in. And like you said, Arenado's nowhere to be seen there. Paul Goldschmidt's not in there. Yeah. So kind of a different season for the Cardinals, to say the least.
Yeah, no, these guys have really had to pick up the Cardinals, get them back into the winning ways, but you know that those All-Stars are going to start playing really, really well down the stretch here. And on the other side, it's a one-man show for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Andy. It's Brian Reynolds the entire way with RBIs, home runs, average, 46 RBIs, 13 home runs, 2 275 average.
Hey,
so
got him on DFS. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I just think the Cardinals are a better team here. It might be a little plus money. Look closer to game time that the Cardinals to take this game, because it might be a plus money with them being on the road. So that is one of the upset alerts that you guys have to look into. Over under on 8 runs. I would go over on that as well. 4th of July, people are going to be looking to smack some homers. Like I said, those big boys for the St. Louis Cardinals are going to put up some runs on Thursday.
And we've already seen it in this series, highlighted by that Nolan Gorman.
Let's go.
Grand salami.
Let's go.
All righty, let's move on down the schedule here for a high noon.
Yeah.
First pitch. We got this cross-division thing here, league game here. The Cincinnati Reds taking on the New York Yankees, the damn Yankees. We can't get away from the Yankees.
Yeah.
Can't get away from the Yankees.
You can't. You cannot.
But they are neck and neck right now with the Baltimore Orioles for the AL East right now.
AL Beast.
Depending on how you read that card. Are they tied? Are they a half game ahead? Are they half game behind? I don't know. You tell me. But they're right there. But they're 8 games ahead of Boston. And here we go with a fun little cross-league type of game here to celebrate July 4th. I mean, don't you just, on the surface, you have to lean towards the Yankees here.
Well, I mean, I just want to applaud Major League Baseball for scheduling the Cincinnati Reds at going to Yankee Stadium on July 4th for the Yankees fans to have a really good 4th of July.
One of the projected worst teams versus one of the projected best teams
exactly.
preseason.
This is Bush League. This is all that it is. They're looking at the schedule, saying what will make the Yankees fans happy. Running the score up on the Cincinnati Reds on July 4th seems like a good place to start. The Reds, like we said in the National League Central, one of the lesser teams there. Tied with the Chicago Cubs right now, but they can pick up some wins here and there, Andy.
Sure.
But the Yankees, top to bottom, is probably the best team in baseball right now.
Looks like
they definitely have the best player in baseball with one Aaron Judge. All rise.
Let me run down some stats.
I want to hear these stats.
He leads the team in batting average with 316, north of 300, slugging percentage 708. Leads the team in dingers, 31 home runs, and then, of course, you mentioned it before we went on the air, 82 RBIs. Just insane. That's a great season for most batters. 82 runs batted in, and we're not even to the All-Star break yet.
Exactly. He has 31 home runs and 82 runs batted in before the All-Star break.
Woo!
That is absolutely crazy. Another reason the New York Yankees are just going to demolish the Cincinnati Reds on July 4th. They are starting the ace, Marcus Stroman. He is 7-3 on the season. 3.29 ERA, Andy, and he has over 70 Ks this year already. This guy is one of the best in baseball. He's definitely one of the best for the New York Yankees, and they got him slated to beat the crap out of the Cincinnati Reds.
He's a flamethrower, and he's going to burn down the old Reds, and I think you're right. It's just going to be kind of a party time for New York. They're going to be able to kick that off a little early with that high noon first pitch.
Yeah, exactly. And the Yankees will be minus 200. Over-under is probably going to sit there at 8.5, 9 runs. And I would suspect that this is probably going to go over just because they are going to slate all these guys to hit some home runs this day. I really like the Yankees, and I really like them by a lot. So Yankees all the way. They got the best pitcher on the mound, and they got the best player in baseball batting as well.
I mean, they got the best guy on the bump, best arm out there, and then they also got on the other side of it, they got the best lineup, and then, like you said, just insert Aaron Judge in the middle there. Hard. I hate the Yankees, but it's hard for me to go against them, especially in the spot, at home, 4th of July, all those things.
Yeah, and I guess, Juan Soto's pretty good as well.
Oh, he's okay.
Yeah,
right? He's decent enough. one of the cast-offs from
just
the Nationals.
Just hitting right behind him. So, yeah, it's pretty tough. Reds are uphill battle, but, Yankees all day on July 4th. I'm still mad because Major League Baseball is slating them that for sure.
Should have been the Twins. Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, they got you covered. Visit stockandrod.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL Where's the Line, Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Class, and joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
Feels good to be back. And, we left things off there talking about the New York Mets and then the New York Yankees.
Yep.
Let's stay right there in New York.
Let's do it.
I'm talking Coney Island, New York. It is July 4th weekend.
Yeah.
That means it's time for the Nathan's
Yes, it is.
Hot Dog Eating Contest. Now, this is going to be nationally televised on ESPN, as it always has been. It starts off with the women's contest at 10:45. That's Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
And then we move into the men's and then the different competitions from there on out.
Yeah.
You got to be tuned in before noon then, otherwise you're going to miss the main event.
Yep.
Now, this year, the betting odds have been turned upside down. That's right. The betting odds have been flipped around here for the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest, and that's what we have to talk about. And that is because a national treasure has bowed out.
A hero.
An American hero. I'm not going to argue with that.
Yep.
16-time champion Joey Chestnut, who ate 62 hot dogs last year.
Yeah.
After a thunderstorm delay, if you remember that.
Yeah.
And was it last year or the year before, a protester jumped up there and while he's eating, Joey punched the guy out.
Yeah.
While security came up. I mean, this guy is a hero. He is a freaking hero.
I do believe that he's a hero, and it's a shame that he's not in this thing.
He's had a kerfuffle, as I've seen written here, with Nathan's Major League Eating Contest. He has accepted a sponsorship from Impossible Foods.
Yep.
That is a plant-based. Sounds disgusting, and how could you not want a Nathan's hot dog on July 4th? That's just my stance.
Or 62 of them.
But, I'm sure old Impossible Foods is offering old Joey a little bit of a payday, and after winning it back-to-back 16 times in a row,
right?
What else does he have to prove?
Yeah, maybe he was just kind of over it and looking for that, big payday.
Little payday.
Yeah,
Yep.
which is
Right on.
totally fine. Give somebody else a chance to win it. It's just funner, going into it, knowing that you're going to see a show, knowing that you're going to see.
Love to see greatness.
You do.
You love to hate the Yankees.
16-time winner of this thing. But like you said, now we get to talk a lot closer betting lines because he would come in a minus 2,000 favorite, minus 2,500 favorite every single year.
Right.
Now we got that really closed up, and we got some new names to talk about.
Real quick, we are still going to get a little bit of Joey Chestnut because there's a special on Netflix slated for Labor Day against his rival Kobayashi. So that's coming on Netflix. I will launch Labor Day, so we're still going to get our Joey Chestnut.
On a holiday.
On a holiday?
There we go.
On a national holiday, but it's just not for the Nathan's Major League Eating Contest, so that leaves the field wide open.
Yeah.
I just got over to DraftKings. They got all sorts of lines on this. Where do you want to start?
I mean, we should probably start with the women, Andy.
Okay.
Is what I would do. And, there's nowhere else you can look at other than Miki Sudo. She is the Joey Chestnut of the women's division.
Yeah.
She's minus 1,200 right now, Andy. What you're going to look for, I would say, is her over-under on hot dogs, Andy, which is 40.5 right now. I'm going more than that.
Over.
I'm going the over on this. She had 39.5 last year, Andy. That's just one up from what she did last year.
And that was a rain delay, certain things.
Exactly. You know that she's going to go for at least one more hot dog. So I'm going over on Miki Sudo. That's at plus money right now, Andy, on DraftKings at plus 125. I think that's one of the best bets of the day for the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest.
Pseudo ain't going low.
Miki Sudo.
She's going over.
Yeah.
Now, she is way on in front, minus 1,200 favorite with Michelle Lesko, another name that, people that follow the sport are aware of, but she's at a plus 2,200 to take it down. Without being pressured, you still think Sudo can easily get over that 40 mark? 40
yeah, no, I think Sudo wins with ease, Andy. The thing with Michelle Lesko, what you're just saying, I love her over-under as well at 25.5 hot dogs.
Yeah.
She's going over that for sure. Somebody's got to push Sudo a little bit. I don't believe that Lesko will get close to her.
Yeah.
But, 27.5, 25.5, wherever you can find it, I believe she gets to that 30 range just to just to push Mickey just a little bit. So I would say Michelle gets to at least 30 hot dogs, which is way over her market, 27 and a half, 25 and a half, wherever you find it with that plus money. So I really like that as well.
Mickey Sudo has won 9 of the last 10 Nathan's hot dog eating contests. So she's one of those perennial winners as well.
And then the one thing I want to say about Lesko is she's a veteran of this event, former champion back in 2021 when she took over 30 hot dogs. That's what I'm saying. She can get back to this. She can get back to this thing. Now, I think it's terrible for her to be slated at 25 and a half, 27 and a half because we have seen her do 30 hot dogs before. So I believe the over is one of the best plays.
All right, well, should we move on over to the men's event?
Let's do it.
According to his Major League Eating bio, Esper, who is now your leading favorite, recently ate 23.75 pounds of strawberry shortcake in 8 minutes, setting a world record. So he's getting himself right.
Yes.
And Jeffrey Esper is now your plus 100 favorite. So what you're talking about, this isn't a minus 1,200, minus 2,000. This is plus money bet, and he is your odds-on favorite right now, right in front of James Webb.
Yeah.
Now, Esper was slated to land I think it was 13 dogs behind Joey Chestnut.
Yes.
That's why the odds were that way. Now it's wide open. You got to like where Jeffrey's at, especially coming off that victory, putting away a world record strawberry shortcake eating. So you got to like that heading into this. He did get second place last year with 49 dogs, but that wasn't even close to Joey putting down 62.
Yeah, for sure, Andy. And Esper is deserved to be the favorite this year with Joey Chestnut out. But last year finished, like you said, downing 49 hot dogs, too short of his best. However, the 49-year-old is no spring chicken, Andy, and it's a little worrisome. I really like Webb here, Andy. James Webb, plus money bet, plus 200, plus 150 wherever you find it. We have Webb, who is a competitive eater from Australia, has won some big competitions in other food arenas as of late. Just a few weeks ago, he won the Salvation Army National Donut Day by downing 70 glazed donuts in 10 minutes.
Gosh darn.
That is absolutely crazy.
Those are real donuts, the glazed donuts, not those little ones.
He's relatively new to the hot dog scene, but is only 35 years old and set a personal best at the event last season with 47 hot dogs, only 2 behind Esper. So I think this guy is really, really ready to go. You got to go with the young calf over the old bull. And one other thing, this guy is actually.
Earlier this week, he was at about a plus 185. So those odds are starting to tighten up. You're still getting a plus 150. I'm seeing at some places here. I think that is a value bet. And now you're starting to see the books react to that thought that you're having right now, that thought process.
Exactly. I just think with only finishing 2 behind Esper last year, this guy takes it over. Another guy that we have to talk about, Andy, is Nick Weary. He's at plus 550, plus 500, wherever he is. I just had one with him.
He was just at 650 here on DraftKings, so his odds are even getting longer and better if you're looking to bet on him. Here is Nick Weary.
Yeah, he's 35 years old, finished 4th at this event the last 2 seasons, and does hold a world record for eating 50 hard-boiled eggs in 3 minutes and 4 seconds. That is a world record. The other nice fact about him, Andy, is he's also engaged to women's champ Mickey Sudo, so he'll have a good coach in his corner at the very least.
My God, what does a date night look like?
Well, it looks like 50 hard-boiled eggs.
What buffet are we putting out of business
50
tonight?
hot dogs. So no, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to talk about. But I mean, obviously, we're kind of grasping at straws here a little bit. But the one fun thing that they, with the ratings going down without Joey Chestnut, obviously he's the draw. Everybody turns their TV on. They do have golf and Instagram influencer Paige Sporonic competing in the women's side, Andy.
Okay.
And her projection on Underdog Fantasy is set at 7 hot dogs. It's likely entirely based on the video of her training. Check out her Instagram if you'd like to see that. It's
provocative.
It is. She ate all 7 of those very slowly and very She
was front and center.
Front and center.
All front of her was front and center for that video. Usually her videos on I follow her on Twitter.
Yeah.
And Paige Sprung. She was Maximum's Babe of the Year or something.
Yeah.
I didn't know Maxim magazine still existed, but I guess they do, and they hand out awards like that.
Yeah,
so.
and I'm just saying with that hot dog count solo at 7, I believe that it's
She's
a
going
good bet.
over.
Yeah,
She's got to go
It's
over.
worth noting she used to be a competitive golfer, professional golfer.
Yep.
So I would guess her competitive juices will kick in at some point during this 4th of July competition.
They got to.
Get that over. If you're on Underdog Fantasy, definitely go over on the 7.
All righty, so we're going Mickey over. We're going Paige Sporonic over on the women's side.
Yep.
We also like a little bit of a long shot here in James Webb, and we're not going to sleep on Nick Weary, who also just broke a world record on hard-boiled eggs. This is unbelievable. Joey Chestnut, we're going to miss you, but it sounds to me like we got a pretty good lineup here.
We do. We got
scheduled for
new
July
guys
4th.
for the crown. New guys for the crown. James Webb is going to win this for the guys' side. Plus 150, plus 200, wherever you find it. Lock him in.
And Mickey Sudo over on the women's. And Paige Sporonic, you can do more. You can put down more than $7.
More than 7. I believe in you, Paige.
Well, let's take a quick minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. You can bet I'm going to have a couple of those. I'm thinking the Ale Storm, right?
Ale Storm.
One of my personal favorites, the Pale Ale from the Nebraska Brewing Company. First class in every glass. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, and I'm joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
And you've been throwing the parlays out. And, I feel like we do got to take a step back here real quick.
Yeah.
I always think it's a good idea. Before you move forward, you got to take a look back, right?
No doubt.
And let's look at some of these hits and misses because we've been talking a lot of UFC lately, haven't we?
We have.
And we just got done with the banger.
Huge card.
And out in Las Vegas, 303, right?
UFC 303.
And, of course, in typical UFC fashion, there were some curveballs thrown at us fans right before that main card started.
Yeah.
But let's go down your list here real quick of what our picks were. And right off the bat, you had Robertson out of Canada taking down the Karate Hottie.
Yeah.
And you even called it by decision.
Yeah.
A couple checks there. Ian Gary, you said no doubt about it. He's going to get this. He won decision over Page. There's your check mark. Chassian did get the K over Silva.
Yep. Nope.
That was your one trip up there.
My two right in a row here are Silva and then we had to go with the hometown boy Anthony Smith. He did make it through the entire thing, but unanimous decision for Dolidais on Roman. But where you put the big money, Andy, is where we put the parlay at, and that was Robertson, that was Gary, and that was Alex Pereira.
And you even said Pereira by KO, and I have never seen a KO like that.
He knocked him out twice.
18 seconds into the second round.
Yeah.
And that kick to the head was so fast. And they're both just standing there squaring each other up.
Yep.
But Pereira is so fast, so surgical. He broke his foot on Yuri's head.
Yeah.
On the side of his head, knocked his toe out of socket. Unbelievable.
Yeah, if you're watching the fight, he actually should have got a KO at the end of the first round, knocked him down with a punch, and Yuri got saved by the bell.
Right.
Never recovered, came out wobbly, and you could just tell by that head kick. And it took him probably about 5 minutes to get right after the head kick and after the decision to stop it. So, no, this Alex Pereira is here to stay. Yeah. They're actually talking about him to go up to heavyweight now to face John Jones. So if
Yuri was the number one contender, and he just wasted him.
Wasted him in the second round. Wasted him in the first round. So if nothing else, we're going to get some really fun stuff with Alex Pereira here. Either a rematch with Israel Adesanya if he wins, or a super fight with John Jones would be absolutely awesome at heavyweight.
Awesome. So Aspinall's been thrown out there too. Tom,
but I just don't think that any of these guys have what Alex is doing right now. So no, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to hit the parlay, and We had to go with our boy Anthony Smith, but he came up a little short.
But he did force the decision. He did last the whole way, and he's had a hell of a career up to this point.
No doubt.
And you can definitely tell the UFC loves him, and he's probably going to get into more and more
broadcasting. He's already on the team.
Yep, and
he's already on the team,
and he's just a good dude.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
You can listen to him.
And gotta shout out Michelle Watterson Gomez, karate hottie. She retired after she lost. Great career. One of the best women to ever do it. So a lot of fun watching her over the years, and gotta give her props.
Yeah, and a classy way to go out as well.
No doubt.
So, all righty. Well, it's the 4th of July weekend.
It's the 4th.
Here we go. So we got to talk the American national pastime.
Let's do it.
Major League Baseball. We're going to run down a fabulous card here to start our afternoon.
Woo!
All games are on July 4th here.
Yeah.
Every single team is playing on July 4th. I think Major League Baseball, they might screw up here, there, whatever, but they get some things right.
Yeah.
And to have the entire league play as a tribute to our nation's independence on July 4th, I think is pretty awesome.
It's definitely one of the best things that they do, and it's just an awesome day for baseball in general.
Just turn your radio on. I think that first pitch starts at 10 a.m.
Yes, it does, all the way through the nightcap with the Dodgers. So, yep.
And we're going to start with your Minnesota Twins here, right? Taking on the division. Yep, the Tigers hosting Detroit. First pitch scheduled for 1:10 p.m. We're also going to talk Phillies Cubs, 1:20 p.m. And then we got to talk a local team here, Rays versus Royals, the nightcap, 7:10 p.m. Your
Heck
first
yeah,
pitch.
nightcap at the K. Let's go.
Let's start, though, with your Minnesota Twins. They've had a lot of success lately.
Yeah, for sure.
Taking a couple from Arizona, taking a couple from Seattle. Before that, they couldn't sweep my Oakland Athletics.
Couldn't do it.
Only beat them twice.
Yeah,
Two
no
out
doubt.
of three.
Yeah, the whole thing about this, Andy, is they've pretty much split with the Detroit Tigers all year. You know, having a couple early series with them in April, Andy. But this Minnesota Twins team is for real. They are a very good team, especially at home. 23-16 right now at home, Andy. And what we got to talk about is who's on the bump on July 4th for the Minnesota Twins. One of the shining stars of the pitching rotation right now, Bailey Ober. He's 7-4, Andy, on the year, 4.3 ERA. And over 92 strikeouts.
I was going to say, he's a strikeout monster.
Yes,
I know
sir.
that because I picked him up off the waiver wire a few weeks ago, and I know people love hearing about other people's fantasy baseball team.
Yeah, I do.
But he is a flamethrower, and those strikeouts, you got to love it.
Yeah.
The Twins as a whole, they're 10 games above 500, 6.5 games back from Cleveland. They're having a little trouble making up ground on Cleveland, but they're putting together a really nice season, especially at home. And this is a spot, July 4th, all the things, Ober on the mound.
Yeah.
You got to think the Twins are looking good to take down the Tigers.
For sure. And there might be a little bad blood between Kenta Maeda, who's starting for the Detroit Tigers. He was a Twin, got traded, was hurt. So there might be a little bad blood there, but he's only 2-4 on the season with over a 5.76 ERA. Just kind of getting his season started, so I really like the Twins to hop on him early and often. Our MVP candidate, Carlos Correa, is slashing right now, hitting over 310 right now in that lineup. Andy, I really like the way the Minnesota Twins are playing baseball. And, really slotted for a really good wild card push right here, but might have enough to catch the Cleveland Guardians at the end of the season. So let's go Minnesota Twins. I think they win on the 4th.
And they are swinging some serious lumber right now. You mentioned Carrera batting .311. Ryan Jeffries leading the team with 13 dingers. But the Twins, above everyone else, right now has a Major League Baseball best 19 games in a row with a dinger, with the home run. So
the second coming of the Bomba squad.
The Bomba squad. Forget about the Bronx Bombers.
Yeah.
We got the Bomba squad up in Minneapolis.
Let's go.
Brewing once again.
Yes, Twins win on July 4th.
No, there's no doubt about that.
There's no doubt about that.
No doubt about that one. All right, let's move on to another team that you like to talk a lot about, and for good reason. They're one of the league leaders as far as odds go for the World Series. That is the Philadelphia Phillies, and they're going to be heading on over to Chicago to take on the Cubs.
Yeah.
A lot of Cubs fans out there. Cubs, they just dropped a couple to the Brewers.
Yeah.
Now starting off a series here with the Phillies. It's just tough when you're picking one game against a team like the Phillies.
Yeah.
I know it's in Chicago, but you still got to think the Phillies have the edge.
Yeah, the one thing that you're going to want to look at with this game is the Phillies are kind of looking like that they're packing it in before the All-Star break. Bryce Harper just went on the 10-day IL. Kyle Schwarber's already on there, Andy. So they're missing a couple of their guys, but we got our Nebraska guy. Alec Boehm is an MVP candidate, hitting 68 RBIs, 10 home runs, and a 300 average right now for the Philadelphia Phillies. Yeah. What also I like, Andy, is they got Christopher Sanchez on the bump on July 4th, 6-3. Look at this ERA, 2.41, Andy, and
I like
80 strikeouts. Has only allowed one home run all season.
That's phenomenal. In the modern game, modern era of Major League Baseball, only giving up one home run.
Impossible.
It's really tough to do, and it's pretty cool. A Nebraska boy, third baseman bomb. He burst onto the scene, started doing some good things. Like, hey, he might get in, he might crack that starting lineup. Now he's leading the team in RBIs, and he's batting north of 300. It's just so cool to see that.
Yeah, when this team is healthy, Andy, I do believe that this is the best team in baseball. Better than the Yankees, better than the Dodgers. These guys are top to bottom the best hitters in the league, especially.
We never even talk about Baum. We never even talk about the guy.
No, we don't, because he's on a team with Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. It's really hard to talk about the third guy. But I still do believe the Phillies win this one. They will be favored in this game, just because Chicago is not having the greatest year, and the Philadelphia Phillies are red hot. So give me the Phillies on the road, getting it in Wrigley.
All right, let's real quick talk about R squared here. Royals hosting the Rays. That's a nightcap, 7:10 p.m. first pitch. Royals. They're having a nice season. They really are. Only a game and a half behind Minnesota. 47-39 on the season. They're in that 3-hole in the Central. The Rays playing let's just call it how it is, a little tougher division in the East there. It's at 4th of July. How do you measure this one up?
Well, what you kind of got to look at, Andy, is how the original series went in May. Royals took 2 from them. I really think I like the Royals as a nightcap at the K at Kauffman Stadium on the 4th of July. While they got their 2 big guys going strong right now, Salvador Perez is slashing, and so is Bobby Witt Jr.
They are.
I love the Kansas City Royals in this. They got Alec Marsh, who has been a very solid pitcher for them on the mound. He's 6-5, 4.19 ERA with over 75 Ks right now. I like the Royals at home July 4th.
The only knock on the Royals right now for me is their depth isn't there.
Yeah,
they
it's
don't,
not.
Especially
pitching.
Yeah, and they don't have a lineup, like the Phillies, like the Yankees. You got Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvi Perez, the catcher, really carrying the water for them.
No doubt.
Salvi, this is a timeless wonder. This guy's a catcher. He's batting .281, leads the team in dingers with 14 homers already, and then Bobby Witt Jr. is doing what he's been expected to do.
Yeah, really shining star for him. He's the second coming of George Brett. Everybody's hoping, and it looks like he is.
Yeah, so, it really does. He's their shortstop. He's batting .312 right now, slugging percentage of .534. You love to see that from a middle infielder.
Yep. No, you really do, Andy. And good for the Royals. I do think that they're going to fall off a little bit at the end of the season here. Get a little bit of room between them and the Twins and the Guardians. But I like them to win July 4th, nightcap, Kauffman Stadium.
At the Cough. There we go. All right, well, that'll about do it for us this week. So, be sure to follow us on ESPN Tri-City Radios and their Facebook page. Check us out on X, formerly known as Twitter. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. So much fun creating the short videos, the feature length, the long form. And if you haven't already, I think, Jabron, you're holding down the old TikTok, aren't you?
Yeah, make sure you check us out at WTL Sports Betting on TikTok. We have short videos, parlay plays, all this kind of good stuff. Even some NASCAR on there, Andy, from our great friend Jake Bartecki. Going to be going to the Chicago street race this week, so make sure you tune in and see what he has in store for us this weekend.
I love that. Love hearing from our guy, Jake Bartecki, who's going to be on the scene.
Let's go.
Hopefully they don't get washed out with 8 inches of rain hours before
it could happen.
Green flag drops. For Jabron, the Parlay Pounder, I'm Andy Klassen. Thank you for listening. This has been WTL.
Hail Varsity Radio every weekday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. Hail Varsity Radio is the best sports talk radio show around, and you'll never go a day without exclusive Husker coverage. On air, online, and on podcast. Chris Schmidt and Elijah Herbal have you covered every weekday, 4 to 6 p.m. with Hail Varsity Radio.